He owns an ArcLight table, has owned the table for about 3-4 years now, and basically sell. Oh, that's right. He's got a second machine. The first one and upgraded to the second machine. But he self-taught himself from the ground up, basically how to learn on the machine, use the pipe cutter, use the height controls, cutting corrugated for signs, things like that. So Brett is here to just share some of his ideas and thoughts and how he got there and what you should be concerned about in running your table and learning your table. But he also can answer a lot of questions. We can all answer questions, but Brett has the in-depth system knowledge of getting into the system and knowing it inside and out. So I'll turn it over to Brett.
Yeah, I guess we got our first table in 2015. I think it was one of the first ones around here.
It was.
And we had ArcLight. I guess we didn't have them come out and teach us until a month after we got our table. For that first month, we basically watched every single tutorial video that ArcLight sent with the table. We'd go in before work, we'd run through 2 videos, and then we'd do what we just learned. The next morning, we'd go in before work, we'd do the 2 next videos, and we'd do that stuff. So we basically just took 2 weeks, went in before work every day, and learned how to run it. And then they came in after that, showed us how to run it again, a little bit more pointers and tips and whatnot. But that's probably the best tool we've ever put in our shop. I mean, we've done more with that thing than we've ever done with any other tool. It's helped us expand what we do. I mean, yeah, I do a lot of the corrugated stuff and signage and whatnot on the side, but we use it every single day for brackets and fixing equipment. Any little bracket you can think, we just put those, plug it out. We used to have 1 sheet of 1/8" plate and 1 sheet 1/4" plate in our shop, and that was all we ever had. And now we have a plate rack with 14 gauge all the way to 1.5 inches. We use it all the time, so we'll cut 1.5" loader bucket brackets with it, or I'll cut corrugated metal out of it, so we can do anything in between that. So, but yeah, we just kind of learned. The biggest thing I would say is you gotta want to learn. I try to teach people who don't really care a whole lot before, and it's really hard. Like, you gotta want to be able to do this. And I think that would be the biggest thing. And if you want to, ArcLight has all the tools out there for you to be able to learn. It's pretty simple. So we just went through all their training program. And if you ever have any problems, they're like a phone call away and they'll fix it within 10 minutes most of the time.
Tell them about your experience when you were on that online forum and you had an issue.
Yeah, so they have a Facebook group, ArcLight Dynamics Users Forum. So I was sitting on Saturday morning and my table wouldn't run. It's probably like 4 or 5 years ago. For whatever reason, it wasn't going up when it was tracking across. So some setting got messed up somehow. And so when it stopped, it would just slam right into the metal and move it instead of moving up and going. So I quick went on the users forum because I couldn't call ArcLight. They weren't open. Went on there, and 10 minutes later, I had a message from the owner of the company. He said, just do this and this and this. And that's what I did it. And I was back up and running in like 15 minutes. So it's pretty, yeah. After I had that, yeah, pretty good. I don't get that much from the owner of the company ever.
That's a free service.
Yeah, it's just on Facebook. Anybody who uses the table can go. Yeah, other than that, I mean, we've just kind of taken it from there. I didn't have any experience running a CAD program or Inkscape or anything like that before we started our ArcLight table. And then, yeah, we upgraded So our table is now at Onion Christian High School. They run that one. Then we run Big Park Max 6x12. Yeah, I guess the next thing would be questions. If you guys have questions, it's the easiest way to go about it. If you guys got questions, I can answer. So yeah, that's kind of the backstory on how we bought it. Marshall convinced me to buy it. Dad wasn't very sure of it. Said we'll never use it. And now we use it every day. I would not want to go a day without it.
So I've got a question. Did you, before you purchased the ArcLight, did you go through and do your homework and look at other types of tables and everything? And
Yeah,
I guess my question would be, what made you want to go with ArcLight?
everybody said their customer service was the best, and it was a solid table. And I have learned that myself. Customer service is top notch. And you call them or go on Facebook. They have 3 or 4 guys that sit and look at their Facebook stuff, and they'll answer questions. And then you can go search for what you have going on. And if you want to cut corrugated, there's a thread on that. If you have this problem, there's something on that. You just gotta go find it. It's all there. I would say that's probably why we decided. And it was a little more local company too, out of Bend, Oregon. So we liked that.
Did you ever travel to Bend at all?
I have
Their
not.
Orientation.
Nope. We were one of the first ones around here to have that, so we got lucky enough to have one of their guys come to our shop.
Yeah, we convinced ArcLight to send out, we actually hired ArcLight to send out a technician to do training for 1.5 days at their shop. But it was the first table Central Welding had ever sold. We were willing to do that because we trained some of our people too at the same time. But right now it's the 4-hour training at ArcLight that you get when you buy it. Rhonda participated in that.
I just went down there. And we brought them down there. Super awesome. Took us through the whole thing.
Yeah, I want to go there someday, just to look at it. I didn't go down there with our second one either, because it's all COVID.
And it was December anyway,
Yeah.
January.
Yeah.
I'll say one of the things that drove us to represent ArcLight was that service and support, because we've been doing Lincoln Torchmate tables for about 5 years, and we were selling the Torchmate brand. And Lincoln Electric bought Torchmate, and we thought that was going to get better, their service would get better, and it actually deteriorated to the point where how many days was it before some of your customers got calls back on the service?
It was over a week on some.
So we started doing our research and, ended up with the ArcLight as the table we want to represent. Quality and service and support was the 3 things that stood out in our mind why we did that.
Yeah, and I'd say too, like, if you want to get, like, we had to change the gears, the belts, and motors in our old one. And so we just ordered all the parts. And it's pretty straightforward. But if you need help, they'll just walk you right through it. And you just call them up and they'll walk you right through it. A couple hours later, you're running. Pretty simple.
You guys want to go outside and put on the table?
You guys.
So for those of you at home, I'm sorry, I'm going to make you seasick really quick because we're heading outside. Oh, I think I'm okay. Maybe get the door.
Wi-Fi phones outside.
I'm hoping.
Part of it might not. Hey, Rhonda, we're on park. Are we parking?
Carpooling.
National figures, which is they did not get that.
Oh,
But it all depends on how much you use it. Yeah, I mean, we really replaced it. Our new one is a lot deeper than this now. So I don't know. Get too much stuff in the bottom of it. Yeah. Like, we should probably change. It's just like sludge. Yeah. That's always a fun day. That's a day for the new.
Do you find evaporation to be a problem, or is your?
It does.
Yeah.
But not a lot. I mean, if it does, just when I'm work. A lot of that too, how hot you keep it. Yeah. Yeah, and if it's next to a window or something too, you're gonna get way more evaporation. Yeah, I don't know, we refill it once every 2 weeks or something, just top it off. And every once in a while, we'll throw a little more eco in there. As long as it looks green enough and not moldy.
I want to see it. I don't understand it. Wait, the camera.
Have you ever put anything in to try to keep the bacteria down or anything?
No, I've seen a lot of people put like borax in there or something like that, but we've never. I think we're stirring it up enough using it. I think it's fine.
True.
A lot of air flowing into it.
A lot of agitation.
Yeah. The far end of our table gets a little dirtier than close end, but we use the close end a lot more.
Yeah.
The slats get a lot more beat up on this end. It's because it's closer to us. You
Right.
Use
It's
it
your,
easier.
it's your home spot, right?
Yeah.
Is this your table?
This
I was
is
gonna say,
Central
why
Welding.
did you keep okay, so or did you keep the rollers on it just for
Just for
portability?
mobility.
Okay, because I'm like, crap, I set up my table, I took my legs off, I'm
Yeah.
worried a
No.
little. I'm like, wait, I
You're
wanna
nice and
level
sturdy.
it, yeah.
That's leveling legs on it. You do want to level.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I was like, I read the directions.
This is our demo table.
I think we didn't get our table level until the water got in it. Then we could- Wait until that water- Yeah.
Funny.
All right.
Easily.
Use out of programs. Do you just use what's on the computers?
The Linux or.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what
What do you use?
We use both. Like the first system always came out with Solid Edge. That's like SolidWorks program. We're more comfortable with that, so we use that when we can. But we do use QCAD also. It's on the computer and you're just sitting there anyway. So you're like, yeah.
Image or take an image offline. What would you use to convert that?
Inkscape.
Inkscape.
Brent Feller was talking about another one yesterday that's even easier than Inkscape.
Really?
Yes, and what was that? Convertio, yeah. So, and that's even easier than Inkscape. So I know I'm gonna try that out, being at the high school. It translates, it goes right to a DFX file. Like you don't have to do any of the, yeah.
Then you can just play it right in.
And plug it right in and it cuts, yeah. So I will, yeah, and for those of you at home, I'll find someone and I'll get that in the chat, but it's awesome program.
Yeah,
That's coming from Brent, yeah.
That's something we have to learn too. Is I didn't know how to use like a Photoshop or Inkscape or anything like that before. So
Yeah.
it just takes practice. The more you do it, the more you're gonna get it. You're gonna pick it up. Just takes runtime. Yeah, this is exactly what our old machine looked like.
You home your machine daily?
In the morning.
In the morning, okay.
Yeah.
What?
Home the machine. Always bring it to the bottom left corner. So you can go in here. We can home this one. So they have the 0 buttons and the home buttons. The home will always bring it to the bottom left.
Sorry, I'm
So bring it
trying.
this way. And that makes sure, see like this thing here is pushed off. Somebody hits it. So now it's running crooked. So if you home it, home the X. If you home that, it'll go all the way that way.
Might go back this way so you guys can see the whole.
Oh. Oh, so it's just.
And that brings it to the zero, the complete zero of the table. And then you can do it this way also.
Go ahead and do that Z and see if it straightens out.
Do the home to Y. It'll bring it this way. Then it should straighten it out. So it'll hit these stops here. And it'll straighten out. Now it's straight.
And then from there, you can move it to where you want it to start.
Yeah.
So it won't have to start.
You can hit the arrows, and then once you get in the spot, say you want to start it just right here. Then you hit 0. Gotcha. And then so that, the bottom left is where it's, yeah, that's where it's gonna start.
Can you tell it where the sheet's at and then just input where you want to start off the edge of the material?
Yeah.
Or
So
off your zero?
you do that all in like sheet cam.
So then you wouldn't have to move it manually if you knew exactly what your measurements were.
You're still gonna have to set the bottom left one.
Right, so zero the machine, right? Yeah, and then put your sheet on, and then once you zero it, then you can just tell it where you want it to start according to where the sheet is on off of zero.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can measure it.
Okay.
But usually, like when I say I get a sheet on there, like when you home it, you only have to do that. That's just to make sure everything's true and straight.
Right. Or if an event happens.
Yeah.
Where, yeah.
Like the other day, I was filling it with water and I forgot, and I just ran it and it hit the hose. And then I had to zero it. But yeah, in sheet cam, you can tell it how big the particular plate you have is.
So if you were gonna do nesting and do a full plate, then you could just start it to get the maximum amount in there out of your sheet. So then you don't have like 3 inches of skeleton all the way around.
Yeah, so you do that with sheet cam.
Okay.
Open?
Are all these
But yeah.
programs you're talking about, are they integrated into this one?
They all come on
Get 3
when you buy it.
3 programs. There's the one that's not first. Sheet.
I didn't. Yeah, here and here. And you can go to options, job options. You can set. See right now, I'm like,
Still showing video.
So it's gonna look like that, right?
Yeah,
So we could,
moving.
2 years.
So that's just as my working days. One, it's
yeah, that's right.
Is this really?
because I know like a little wire arm. I showed that onto that.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Well, if you want, I mean, I might be able to show on the screen. Because I can even, if you can do it on the computer, I can kind of angle this camera. Doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with this, you're taking this.
So we can, because it
And
has to
that's
be,
why you have a
But I
stop.
can also just use my.
So it
Yeah,
matches up
it's
with
just
your
like-
gray area and everything. Yeah, that too. So it's from your table. So. Yeah.
But I was only looking.
And
So
then
in which
he's
case, if you
showing
need to
mine.
take
I don't know if you want to kind of go over and see if we can see the.
cutouts for other things on the side of the tank, because you're gonna be using the whole sheet instead of just cutting part out of it and using part. So in that case, that's where you have everything set up so it stays square on your sheet metal stocks.
Yeah. Sheet cam is pretty easy to nest in. You can bring them apart one time, put them on top of each other or next to wherever you need to.
oh, great, cool. Love when that pops up.
What happened?
Oh, it just says internet connections and stuff.
And you can.
That's why I was trying to keep
It's
it in
like
one
my life.
spot.
Use to fit it to
Yeah.
the size of the
Okay.
material, so it'll
So I had
fit it for you to the best of.
But I hear you. Okay, and then whenever you use like that auto feature where it just automatically. I noticed a lot of times, like, so we'll just put it on there for you, and then you can kind of manually re-nest yourself if you want to get this taller. Closer.
Okay. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
So yeah, say you got that,
So they call this like action cut.
Yeah, so we got a 6x12. No,
So that's your working dimension. So
yeah. You can't quite get to the edge.
Training days, I think it's still.
So yeah, we have that there. And you can right click when you're in the nesting, and then you can array parts, and then you can change the gaps between them all. and whatnot.
So the thicker your material, the larger you can make the gaps there.
Yeah.
More space.
Right.
More curved width and whatnot.
Mhm.
So yeah, but if we go fit to material,
I know.
then it'll fit what it
All
can,
those, okay.
what it fit and what it can.
And then
But
you
then
could
you
go in,
could
so
do-
that's the auto feature, right?
Yeah.
So then you could go in manually, maybe try to invert one like 180 degrees to nest it that
And
way.
I would do that
That's why I was
before,
wondering.
Yeah.
I would do that before I arrayed the parts. So then you
Right.
Copy
So you-
one, copy another one in there.
Right.
Flip it and then do
Okay,
that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's just all personal preference. You can do whatever you want, really.
So then once it does its auto nesting, then you can go in and manually put more in if you think you can get another one in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Oh
good.
yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask, it won't like auto populate a full sheet if you give the sheet size, and if you get two like nested, it won't just kind of do
You
that.
can make it do it.
Oh, it will?
Mhm.
Oh, okay, so you're not having to individually pull each one, okay.
That's what really.
Yep.
So you guys get.
I know Dan was wanting to get a new one, something that's a little bit bigger, something.
So then what are your tricks for cutting corrugated?
Corrugated.
Yeah, how about corrugated?
Corrugated is just like cutting anything else. You just have to have the right settings. If you have the right settings, it's easy. You gotta turn. And if you ever need to know how, they'll walk you straight through it. And if you go on that Facebook group, they have a file with every step to do it on it.
Did we
If you
answer Bruce's
forget or
question?
don't do anything. But if you go here, you have DTHC settings. You have to change the responsiveness to fast, because otherwise it won't follow that contour fast enough. It won't. Side of it, and it won't jump up. So you have to somewhere. Oh, turn that, because otherwise it tries to save the tip and it won't let it dive down back down fast enough. So you turn that off, and then it'll let it dive back down fast enough.
So
And then-
Brianna, this is on Command CNC, and it is actually the program that comes with the computer and the CNC table. So it's Command CNC, that's where we go in to operate the table. So just to answer your question, sorry. And then
Yeah.
where can you find the tutorials?
You go to Facebook, their
Mhm.
users forum group, and they have files on there. So just go to the files section and you can find it. It'll probably say corrugated cutting in Command CNC.
Perfect.
My kids found Sudoku.
Yeah.
My kids found Sudoku on this
Really?
thing, yeah, and Minesweep. I'm like, how did you find it? They're like, it's in one of the files.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, it's used for time.
So yeah, it's,
kids are
and then after that, after you change those settings, it's just like cutting any other piece of metal. I mean, you just have to pick the thickness and it'll set it up for you. And then the torch height control will do all the work for you. It'll just follow. And if it doesn't quite follow fast enough, make it a little bit thicker metal and it'll follow. So there's just, it's all about the settings basically.
So-
And other than that, it's easy.
In that, does this do like a line test to figure out your feed rates?
You
and
can,
stuff like that?
yeah, so you can do a manual That's what they'll tell you to do.
Okay.
And I mean, I've figured it out and done it so many times that we just do it.
Right.
But
You know,
can,
your
yeah,
inches per minute. and
yeah,
everything.
you can set it to a normal torch height and then run it at whatever your thickness is, whatever the book tells you that. It's like Hypertherm book tells you what the settings should be for that. Just run it at that, see what your torch height volts are. And then that's what you set your volts to. So, yeah. It's not too hard. It can be done. If I can do it, I think anybody can. It just takes a little practice too. Yeah. The more time you do it, the easier it becomes. Yep. So yeah, that's just those settings. Usually it runs it slow because it never has to jump that much.
Right.
Easy to change
I feel
that.
like I'm modeling here. I don't like this.
And your tip saver usually just keeps it from diving. Like say if you go right past another hole and it kind of creeps into that hole.
I really feel like I feel like I'm modeling, or like if I take like a frat picture, like
Normally.
like my kids do, right? When we do like last day class pictures.
So, runners, have you ever had a trouble? Is there any kind of feature that saves the tip from hitting something that's like crept up if it's going like across something else?
If it's bad enough,
Oh, I
then
got you.
it'll
So it's
lose
just
arc and shut off.
okay.
It's bad enough. If not, it's
So that's
not
magnetic, if you didn't hear that. It's pretty sweet.
Okay.
It does have
Sorry,
breaks.
I'm short. I promise.
Okay. In case something like that happens, and then so your magnets, they just click back in place and you're back to square and everything, right? Just a little bit tentative.
But the other thing this has is it's got more.
God. I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
They don't have a whole bunch of metal. But yeah, then you could rehome after that.
Okay, and then can you just kind of after you rehome it and
If you
everything,
put the torch right back where it was, yeah, you should be able to get.
and then
go
just
right back.
resume? Okay, cool. I didn't know if it like faulted and then you'd have to reset it or anything.
No, you just have to go
Just
back to,
re-zero it.
there's a way to, once you have something lined up in here, you can click on the last M5, it is, that's where it starts cutting. Click on that, and then go run from line, and it'll go back to that line.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. It's all pretty straightforward stuff. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's rocket science.
And then you said this this came with software to help you learn how to use it and everything, or did you say it was kind of like a subscription?
Nope.
And
It's
videos?
all
Or,
on here, so it should be right here. It says instructional videos right here. They put them all on the computer
nice.
for you, and if not, they're all on their website.
Okay.
Well, even if you didn't purchase them, you can go to their website.
Oh,
Look at them.
okay.
And you can find them on YouTube.
Yeah, so even
You
Oh,
can find them on,
perfect.
they're
Oh, yeah,
on
okay.
they have
YouTube,
everything
and
on
then they
YouTube.
give you a little, it's got every.
You're amazing.
could
Thank
go
you.
on everything.
Okay.
So, yeah, if
Bless
you got any,
America.
like reservations about buying them too.
Yeah.
So look at their videos. It'll say what they're teaching you that time.
So that kind of helps. The software is
Oh, yeah.
already on it, comes with
Yeah,
it and
yeah, or
everything.
just go to YouTube.
Okay.
They're
Nice.
pretty snazzy.
That's pretty cool.
They really are.
Yeah, like our high school, the high school I went to bought ours used. So they had whatever was on there.
Mhm.
We got ours brand new.
I went over there a couple times. That's why I say you gotta want it. I mean,
Mhm.
if you're gonna run it, you gotta want to.
What kind of consumables are in the tip? I mean, you go through, does it usually have to,
It's just all the basic.
Yeah.
so it's just like a plasma cutter essentially,
Yeah.
just like a big plasma
It's
torch.
just, it's
So you got
just
your
different because
electrode
it's
and
a
all that
machine
kind of
torch
stuff.
instead of a handheld torch.
But it's the same.
Oh, yeah, that looks just like you took apart. Okay,
It
yeah,
really is. And as long
Okay.
as your kids
This
don't
one's got an
just
85 in it.
run incorrect settings, you're fine.
okay.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can do fine
That's-
Yeah,
tuning.
that's it. If your
Fine
kids
cut.
run incorrect settings, then you're screwed, but yeah.
Yeah. You could
Then
run
do you
lower
have to-
settings with this one,
Do you have
Yeah.
to change the tips out if you go to a thicker
No.
metal or anything, or you just kind of pick what you universally kind of use?
You can,
Okay,
like, we use a lot of a 65 amp tip, and that'll cut anything up. Well, it will cut 3/4 inches if you want it to, but it'll cut slower.
Right.
So, like, if we're going 3/4, we go to a 105 tip.
okay,
But
And
we
he said if
usually,
you were doing corrugated to go to the fine. cut.
yeah, then I can do a 45 amp fine cut.
okay,
And then they have all the settings in here preloaded for you in sheet cam.
okay. So if you put in what you're cutting and everything, will it
in
recommend
here-
what size tip to put on there?
It'll tell you.
It'll-
Okay.
So here, if I want to load something, it's already right in fine cut 45 amp, 14 gauge steel.
Okay.
So if I want to do like a 105 amp tip and I'm doing 1/2 inch steel, you just go down and find it. 105 amp, 1/2 inch steel. It'll set all the parameters for you. All you gotta do is
You just
put
got to
the
make
right-
sure you put the right
one
tip
in
in.
there. And let her fly.
Okay.
You'll find out very quickly if it's not the right tip.
And
Really
like, say you were to have, I don't know, you're cutting with not the right tip, it's probably gonna die. So you'll know pretty quick that it doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah, the shields on the outsides are taller. For like 105. So you'll know pretty quick if it's not the right tip.
Okay.
I tried cutting the other day and it
What happened?
was set at 45 or whatever.
Of course it is.
And it was a 105. It just wasn't cut
Of course
through.
Sounds all right. Mine's drained after
I blew
it has
that
to
one. I
constantly
blew
plug
that
in
one.
in sessions.
Oh.
Whoops.
So is there any troubles ever like on your travel ways, like not being guarded or anything like that?
No, they got cleaners on here. I mean, they got sweepers on the front. of
Okay.
the Guides there. As long as you keep them greased. I mean, we go wipe them down once a week.
Okay.
Wipe everything down, just because I feel like it's gonna last a lot longer.
Well, yeah, maintenance, exactly. So I just didn't know if like with all the, do you ever have any like spray back or
Oh, yeah.
anything when you,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so
Like
then
when
that's
we're
the kind
trying
of
to
stuff.
pierce a 1-inch plate.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
right. So,
It's flying everywhere.
right.
But I don't know. You can kind of see, there's a little bit on this one.
Yeah, I was looking at your rails on the back side, kind of where the
Yeah.
gears mesh in and everything.
And like, so this is the old school way. Yeah. This is the older one.
Okay.
Arc Pro. The Max is gonna have all of these.
Oh, I see. Okay.
They'll even have them on the sides too.
Okay.
They have sweepers that run, so as long as you keep it greased, it'll push all the crap off.
Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty problem. Make sure you wipe it down. Usually, like if our old one that had these, we usually sprayed some WD-40 to keep them from rusting.
Okay.
Even though these fans, and it helps with stuff.
What?
Kind of puts a barrier on it. Almost. Okay.
And we have the engraver attached too, but used it yet. I don't know. Partially just because I haven't had time to sit down and do it. But yeah, I would like to, because then you can mark parts. Mark
You cut
holes.
aluminum with yours?
We do. We usually put a different sheet down first, so that's a space in between. You can get hydrogen trapped in the bottom of it and then go boom. And I don't really want to. So how do you, what do you do? With our aluminum, whenever I cut it, we put a plate underneath it. I don't know.
Videographer, so I apologize to everyone at home.
Back on the
Okay,
Tables,
we're. Problem is,
You're worried about it, but.
Change your electrode.
that's what gives me a reason to stay with that. I got it back to
A different setting. Yes.
Do you have an air dryer for yours? Yeah. So you use the refrigeration.
Yeah, we did not at first.
Right, and it eats tips.
Oh, yeah. It all depends where you are too. Yeah.
So is that like one?
It's really bad.
Oh,
That
God.
we actually pick up the background.
Work by just so it can- but yeah, you can get a 5-stage or what is it, like a 5-stage air filtration from them. That I see a lot of guys.
I know like the Jessica on ours. So changing out the Jessica stuff all the time in those 5 stages.
So for those of you at home, we have a lot of different discussions going on. And so I feel like that's really hard and I feel like I'm making you seasick. So I apologize. I did not go to college for videography. But I just wanted to let you know, I think I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. But before I do stop the recording, do you have any questions that we can ask of Brent before we close down? Since we're in our last like 8 couple of minutes, because then I can go ahead and quit making you guys seasick. So does anyone have any questions for Brent before we wrap up? All right. Well, thank you guys for joining. If you have any questions, I've got easy access to all of the individuals that were here, like Central Welding and also Brent CNC Welding. So just let me know if you have questions. My name's Rhonda Juergens, and you can go ahead and just send me an email. All right. Thank you guys.
Then I can go start.
If you don't, you give me a call. No, it's not.